select employee ID, first name, department ID, salary from here. We'll generally write from staff, the table name, right? Here also we are using subqueries and also window function, that is dense rank. Okay, understand this query now. Select employee ID, first name, department ID, salary from this particular table. What is this? Select employee ID, again same thing. Dense rank over partition by department, order by sales, descending order as rank number from staff, where rank number is equal to 2. Is this not what we want? Rank number is equal to 2. First, we are creating a new column, assigning ranks for that based on the department partition by, that is grouping by department, order by salary, and we are just filtering where rank number is equal to 2. Is this understood? Yes. Now, what is the third question? To show last second salary from the department. This is second highest salary. This is second lowest salary. Yes. How do we do this one? What to change here in the second query? Simple, order by salary, ascending order. We have to change from descending to ascending. Everything else will be the same, right? Fourth question. What is this? Find all employees whose salary is greater than average salary of a department. You guys tell me how to do this. Subqueries, for sure. Inner query will be, second select statement should calculate the average salary of each department, right? This portion, this highlighted thing will be the second query. First query, first select statement is to find all those salaries which, where the salaries are greater than this average. Okay, how do we write this one? Simple, very simple. Select employee ID, department and average, department average. This is the new column that we are creating from this table, average salary over partition by department ID as department average from staff where salary is greater than department average. Understand this. Read, go through all of these queries. Let me know if you have any questions. See, in the interviews also, you'll be asked these kind of questions. Okay. In interviews also, you'll be asked these kind of questions. What is the second highest? What is the third highest? What is the fifth highest? Right? How many employees are there whose salary is greater than average? How many employees are there whose salary is less than average? Right? All of these kind of questions. Is this understood? Everything subqueries are simple window functions. Any questions in any of this? Quick. We have to start statistics today. Huh? Is this understood? Yes or no? Tomorrow I'll give you one more data set and sample of 25 to 30 questions approximately for you to practice, which includes every concept, every kind of question. Okay. I'll give you that tomorrow. Okay. Just a minute. What is view in schema? View is nothing but it is again a temporary table, right? Temporary table, which is not, that is not permanent. We cannot use again and again. View is nothing but the output that we get is a temporary thing. We cannot use that again and again. That is very simple. Okay. All right. Can anyone tell me what is statistics? Statistics. Anyone? What is statistics? Reports. Okay. Anyone, what is statistics? Study of data behavior, correct? Reports, analyzing the data, organizing the data, collecting the data. Statistics is mainly part of mathematics which deals with collecting, organizing, analyzing the behavior of the data. What is data? Simple. What is data? Data is nothing but any information, right? Or any piece of information generally. But in statistics, data is same thing which can be measured. Any piece of information which can be measured, that is nothing but data. Okay. Any information that can be measured. Examples. Any examples? Examples of data which can be measured. Anyone? Population. Next. Sales. Height. Weight. Temperature. Profit. Quantity. Unit sold. Every other thing which is in the numeric format and which can be measured, or we'll be able to apply some mathematical operations on it, that is nothing but data. Is this understood? Yes. There are two things in statistics. One is descriptive, one is inferential. Any idea about what is descriptive? Any idea about what is descriptive? We know this already. Summarize the data. Exactly. Summarize the data in terms of central points of the data. What are central points of data? Central tendency, mean median mode. After this, what else do we have in descriptive? Measure of shape, measure of, this is measure of central tendency. This is measure of shape. One more thing, measure of dispersion. What is dispersion? Variance, standard deviation. Okay. Central tendency, mean, median, and mode. Shape, kurtosis, and skewness. Okay, kurtosis and skewness. Now, what is inferential statistics? Inferential statistics, descriptive for sample and inferential for population data. Yes, it is not like that. Descriptive for sample and inferential for population. No, it is not like that. Spread of the data. Yes, correct. Helps to make predictions. Okay. Inferential statistics. Anyone? Inferential statistics. This will help us to form conclusions. What kind of conclusions? Based on the data that we get from the descriptive statistics, inferential will help us to form conclusions. What kind of conclusions? Any one example. Take any one example of descriptive statistics and form some conclusions about that data. Anyone? See here. Okay. Example. we have average rating of employees. Average rating of employees in a department, any department it might be. Okay. The rating average is 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and so on. 50 employees, 100 employees, whatever it might be. Can we use this data to form some conclusions about the employees from the other departments? This is, for example, sales department. Okay, this is sales department employees rating. Can we use the same data to form some conclusions about the rating of operations department, for example? Are we getting the point? Yes or no? Should I repeat something? Whole thing from starting. This example, see, okay, we'll take one more example. Predicting, kind of predicting. We are trying to predict. Okay, we are trying to conclude. The correct term is conclude. We are trying to conclude the average rating of operations department based on the ratings of sales department. Election, yes. How? Election results of one state, for example, we have data, every data related to the elections for Telangana, for example. Okay. Can we use this Telangana elections data to predict the result for any other state? For example, Maharashtra or Andhra or whatever it might be. This is nothing but inferential statistics. Is this understood? Yes. One more example, simple example. We have students. Okay. Average score of students. Students' average score in a classroom. For example, our classroom, we have average scores of 90, 80, 95. Everyone is topper. 98, 99, 89, or whatever it might be. Can we use this data? Can we use this data to predict the outcomes, to predict the score of other class of data analytics? No. That is what we do in inferential statistics. That is possible. That is possible. That is what we do in the inferential statistics. We'll see how. Don't worry about that. Okay. Testings. We'll have testings in inferential statistics. What testings do we have? Z test, T test, ANOVA, chi-square. Anyone know what are these tests? Last one, chi-square. What is chi-square? Okay, so we use all of these testings to compare different variables. Okay, one variable is this one. The other variable is what we are going to predict. Okay, we'll see all of these tests. Any questions still here? Anyone? Any questions? No? Okay. Next one. See here. Sample and population. What is sample? What is sample and what is population? What is sample and what is population? Population is whole group of, okay. Sample is subset of population. Any one example? Any one example? Any one example? Blood group. How? Please. Mistake is mine. Okay. Sample and population. One simple example. Anyone? Yes. If we consider Indian Prime Minister elections, okay, Indian Prime Minister elections, election polls, which predict the outcome of any elections. What do? They survey people. Just simple survey. They'll go to people, I mean random people, and then they'll just survey just to predict the output who is going to win. Simple. Okay. Any election poll, anyone, are they able to go to each and every person in the whole country, that is where we have 140 crore to 150 crore population? Is it possible to reach out to every person in this 140 crore and survey? Is that possible? No, right? So that's why we'll choose a small piece of area and small piece of people. 1 lakh people. We'll just survey 1 lakh people or 1 crore people. And based on the outcomes or based on the results that we get from this 1 crore or 1 lakh, we'll be able to predict the outcome of the whole country. Okay. In this scenario, this 140 crore or 150 crore will be the whole population. And this 1 lakh or 1 CR is nothing but a sample. Is this understood? Yes. Any one more example? Any one example from you? Population. 1 second. Population. All patients in hospital. Okay. Sample. Sample example. 50 patients are selected to survey. Okay, 50 people are selected to survey. Okay, this 50 is sample and the whole patients in the hospital is a population. One more example, 50 people are suffering from heart disease. Okay, out of, for example, in the hospital, we have 1,000 people who suffers from heart disease. 50 are, I mean, we can take 50 as sample from those 1,000 people who are suffering from heart disease and then survey. Yes. This is population and sample. Now, how do we select a sample? How do we select a sample? Disaster analysis, health survey, literacy rate survey. Yes, any survey, any survey. Okay. How do we select a sample? We have some sampling techniques. Before going into sampling techniques, for example, okay, in this elections, PM elections, we will, for example, we got a mean of, that is average of 140 crore people as 10, for example, just 10. Forget about this scenario, whatever it might be. Mean of population is 10. Okay. Mean of sample is 5. Okay. Can these two numbers be equal in any of the scenario? Can the mean of sample equal to mean of population? Is this possible or not? Average of sample, will that be equal to average of population? Will that be possible? No, definitely not. Okay. So the difference between sample mean and population mean is called sampling error. Okay. What is sampling error? The difference between sample mean and population mean. For example, our sample mean is 5. Okay. Sample mean is 5 and population mean is 10. Okay. So 5 minus 10, this will be minus 5. Minus 5 is nothing but sampling error. Okay. Is this understood? Yes. Should I repeat something till now? No? Okay. Next thing. Sampling techniques. Anyone knows sampling techniques? No? First one, simple random sampling. Okay. This is our whole population. For example, this is one sample, this is one sample, this is one sample, this is one sample. Okay, but how do we select this sample? We have 5 techniques. First one is simple random sampling. Meaning of this, by the name itself, we'll be able to understand what is simple random sampling. We'll just go to any random people and then select them for survey, right? That is simple random sampling. And here one important point is probability of getting selected for survey will be equal for every person. Probability of getting selected as sample will be equal for I mean the chances. For example, here we have a population. From this population, if I pick any random people, any random 5 people, what are the chances of getting selected? For all the people, it will be same. For you also, for example, you have 5% chances of getting selected. You also have 5%. You also have 5%. Every other person will have 5% of chances of getting selected for this survey, right? That is simple random sampling. Probability will be same across the population. Next, second one is stratified. Stratified sampling. Anyone know what is stratified? In this stratified sampling, the whole population will be divided into different stratas. Stratas. In simple English, groups. Okay, the whole population will be divided into some stratas, that is nothing but groups, and then from each group we will select some people. From each group we will select some random people for survey. Is this understood? Yes, stratified sample. What is stratified? Grouping and selecting. First grouping and then selecting some people from every group. Okay, that is mandatory thing. That this is stratified sampling. Next we have systematic. Systematic sampling. Simple. Out of the whole population, I'll pick every nth person. I'll pick every nth person. For example, this classroom is our population. I'll pick every third person. 1, 2, 3. I'll pick third person. Again, 1, 2, third person. Again, 1, 2, third person. 1, 2, 3, third person. So like this. For example, our value of n is 3. I'll pick every third person from this population for a sample. Okay. Is this understood? That is systematic sampling. What is simple random? Randomly selecting anyone. Okay. Next, what is stratified? Dividing the whole population into different stratas, grouping, and then selecting some people, some random people from each of this group. Okay. Next, systematic. Sample should select all factors that include all, not in biased way. Yes, that is what do we call? Random sampling. Not biased, that is random sampling. Okay. Is this understood? These three. Next, fourth one. Convenience sampling. Anyone know what is convenience? No. In this convenience sampling, we will select domain experts. Domain experts. Meaning of this domain experts? Expert, that is, how can we say? We call it pro. Masters or experts. For example, see here, we are surveying elections, Indian Prime Minister elections. For that population, if we want to survey that, we will just pick that, how can we say this? Indian PM elections. For this survey, we will just pick political leaders for survey as sample. Okay, if you are trying to survey for Indian Prime Minister elections, we will just pick all the people who are political leaders, MLAs, MPs, right? Leaders or whatever it might be. That is domain experts. For this domain, these are the experts. One more example. If we are doing any survey in AI related, artificial intelligence related, we'll pick who do we pick? Huh? AI engineers, data science people or machine learning people, right? Because these people are the domain experts of AI. Is this understood? Yes, that is convenience sampling. What is convenience? We'll pick domain experts only based on our convenience. Simple for the survey. Next, last one, cluster sampling. Cluster sampling. Anyone know what is cluster sampling? What is cluster? Group. The whole population again will be divided into different groups. But what is the difference between cluster sampling and stratified sampling? In stratified also we'll create groups and then we'll be able to survey. Here also we'll create some groups. But what is the difference? In stratified sampling, we'll pick samples from every group. But in cluster sample, we'll pick the whole cluster as a sample, the whole group as a sample. Here, the samples from other groups will not be allowed. In stratified sample, we'll pick samples from every other group.